As a European, you have the freedom of movement inside the EU. What about outside it? You can already live and work in 27 countries without a visa. That's not nothing. But it doesn't touch the thing actually keeping a lot of European retirees up at night in 2026. The cost of living at home has gotten genuinely bad. Pension systems in Germany, France, the Netherlands, and across Scandinavia under real structural pressure. And more people every year are quietly doing the maths on whether retiring somewhere else entirely might just work out better. For the right person with the right plan, it does. This video covers the 5 best countries for European citizens to retire outside the EU in 2026. Real cost of living, the exact visa route for each, healthcare, and the specific things that can go wrong if you don't know about them going in. A couple of those watchouts are rule changes from the last 2 years that a surprising number of guides still haven't updated. Full comparison table at the end. Stick around for it. Welcome to Eagle Flight, where your new life starts here. Quick bit of context before the list because this isn't a lifestyle story, it's a financial one. The average EU state pension sits somewhere around 1,200 to 1,500 euros a month. In Germany, the Netherlands, Scandinavia, that covers the basics. It does not cover a genuinely good retirement. Every country on this list runs between 40 to 70% cheaper than Western Europe. Same pension, an apartment with a room to spare, restaurants a few nights a week, private healthcare, actual travel with money left over. One practical point for European citizens specifically: most of you keep your own pension while living abroad, similar to how the US Social Security works for American retirees, but without fat cars banking headaches. Your European bank account travels reasonably cleanly. Tax treaties still matter though, and we'll flag the specifics country by country rather than pretend it's simple. And before the list, two things that no longer apply that keep showing up in outdated guides anyway. Spain's Golden Visa ended in April 2025. Malta's Citizenship by Investment Program is suspended as of 2026. If either shows up in something you're reading, that source is stale. Move on. Country number one, Panama. Bogota was ranked the number one retirement destination in the world in 2026 by Live and Invest Overseas. Not the region, the world. That's the kind of claim worth being skeptical of. So let's look at why it actually holds up. Two things matter specifically if you're European. It uses the US dollar, so there's no currency risk settings between your euros and your monthly budget. And the pensionado visa is about as generous as retirement visas get anywhere on the planet, and it's fully open to you. Cost of living. In Bogota, a couple lives comfortably on $2,200 to $2,800 a month. Panama City runs $2,500 to $3,500 for a full urban lifestyle with access to genuinely world class private healthcare. The pensionado visa needs a lifetime pension of at least $1,000 a month. It can be government, international organization, or a recognized private company. German Rentenversicherung, French pension, the Dutch AOW, UK state pension, all of them qualify as long as they clear that threshold, no minimum age. And here's the part people don't expect: it's permanent residency from day one, not a temporary status that converts eventually. Permanent immediately. Citizenship is available after 5 years, and Panama allows dual citizenship. The discount package is written into actual law, Law 6 of 1987, not a marketing add on. 50% of entertainment and public transport, 25% of flights, up to 20% of medical consultations and prescriptions, 15% off hospital bills. Businesses are legally required to honor every one of those. And Panama runs a territorial tax system, so your European pension isn't taxed locally as long as it's earned outside Panama. You'll still have obligations back home. Check your country specific treaty with Panama because they're not identical across the EU. Watch out, you can't self file your visa. Every application goes through a licensed Panamanian immigration lawyer by law. Budget $3,000 to $6,000 all in. Lawyer, apostles, translations, government charges. 3 to 6 months to process. Another thing to watch out: your pension letter has to state explicitly that the income is permanent and guaranteed for life. Vague or fixed term wording is the single biggest reason applications get rejected. Get the exact phrasing agreed with your Panamanian attorney before you request the letter from your pension provider, not after. A pro tip: if you own or buy Panamanian real estate worth 100,000 or more, the income requirement drops to $750 a month. Most EU state pensions clear that with room to spare. Country number two, Thailand. Ask European retirees in Southeast Asia where they actually end up, and Thailand comes up more than anywhere else. Over 80,000 foreigners live there on the OA retirement visa alone, and European numbers have climbed sharply. The logic is simple: a pension that gets you a restricted visa in Western Europe gets you a genuinely comfortable 1 year. Good healthcare in major cities, extraordinary food, real savings. Cost of living: Chiang Mai, the cities most Europeans land in, runs between 1,100 to $1,700 a month, including rent. Bangkok or Phuket, budget 2,000 to 3,500 for the same standard of living. That's 40 to 60% below most Western European cities. There are three visa pathways in 2026, and which one fits depends entirely on your income. The non-immigrant OA retirement visa from age 50, either 65,000 Thai baht a month, roughly 1,650 euros, or 800,000 baht deposit in a Thai bank, about 21,000 euros. Renewed annually, 90-day reporting to immigration required. The most accessible route if you're living on a modest state pension. The Thailand LTR Visa, the premium tier. Under wealthy pensioner, you'll need $80,000 a year in passive income or 40,000 combined with the $250,000 invested in qualifying Thai assets. In exchange, a 10-year renewable visa, no 90-day reporting, a full exemption from Thai tax on foreign source income. If your pension or investment income is substantial, this is the most efficient route financially. The Thailand Privilege Programme, 600,000 baht for 5 years, about 15,000, no income or deposit requirement. Concierge service handles your reporting. No minimum age, works well if you're under 50 or you just don't want a large Thai bank balance sitting around. Watch out, tax change. This is one to actually pay attention to. Thailand changed its foreign income tax rules in 2024. Spend 180 days or more in a year in the country, and foreign income remitted in from 2024 onwards can be subject to Thai income tax, regardless of where you earned it. LTR holders are exempt, AO visa holders are not. Don't assume your pension arrives tax free without getting specific advice from a Thai tax professional and checking the double taxation agreement your home country has with Thailand. Watch out. Property. Foreigners can't own land outright. Condos, yes, it has to be freehold. Houses and land go through 30-year leases instead. The nominee company workaround people used to get around this is being actively prosecuted now. Over 46,000 companies are flagged, 850 plus cases prosecuted as of 2026. Use real legal channels. Don't be one of the 850. A pro tip: for the OA visa, Bangkok Bank and Kasikon Bank are the easiest for foreigners to open bank accounts with. Open it before you apply and make sure the 800,000 baht deposit has sat there for at least 2 months before your application date. Before we go ahead with the remaining content, if you're getting value and enjoying this video and want to stay updated on the latest opportunities to living and traveling abroad and learn about the exciting options to retiring or migration, click the subscribe button and turn on notifications. YouTube will ensure you get notified when we publish the next insightful content. Now back to the video. Country number three, Morocco. This is the one that tends to surprise people, mostly because it's been sitting in plain sight for decades and nobody outside France seemed to notice. French retirees have known about Morocco forever. Germans and Scandinavians are just catching up. It's a 2-hour ferry from Spain, same time zone as the UK and Portugal for most of the year. French works everywhere it needs to: hospitals, banks, government offices, and it's 50 to 70% cheaper than Western Europe. Cost of living: a couple can live genuinely well here. Good apartment, fresh daily food, domestic help, private health insurance, dining out, real leisure time for 1,200 to 2,000 euros a month. The same life in France or Germany runs about 3 times that. Numbio's 2026 Cost of Living Index puts Casablanca at 35.2 and Tangier at 36.1, against 70 to 80 for most European cities. Morocco doesn't run a formal retirement visa the way Panama or Thailand does. EU citizens get 90-day visa-free days on arrival. Beyond that, you apply in person after you arrived at the local police department for the resident permit. You'll need roughly $12,000 a year in pension income, about $1,000 a month, proof of accommodation, private health insurance, and a clean record. 2 to 4 months to process. You'll also need a signed official registered rental agreement that's required for both the permit and the attestation de residence that goes with it. Where people actually settle: Marrakesh for culture and established expat scene, Tangier for the coast and the short hop to Europe, Agadir for Atlantic beaches and a relaxed resort feel, Essaouira if you want something quieter and cooler, which tends to pull the Northern Europeans specifically. Watch out: healthcare. Morocco's public healthcare system is underfunded and it's not where you want to be as a foreign retiree beyond basic care. Private care in the major cities is genuinely good and affordable. A GP visit runs between 200 to 400 dirhams, roughly 20 to 40 euros. Outside those cities, specialist access thins out fast. Get private health insurance from day one. Budget 1,500 to 3,500 euros a year, depending on age and coverage. Another thing to watch out is tax. Morocco taxes worldwide income progressively, up to 38% for anyone spending more than 183 days a year there. Most EU countries have a double taxation treaty with Morocco, which usually means you're taxed in one place. Not both, but usually is doing real homework in that sentence. Check your specific country's treaty before you commit anything financially. A pro tip: the dirham isn't convertible outside of Morocco. Keep your reserves in euros and only exchange what you need week by week. A multi currency account solves most of this for European expats. Country number 4, Georgia. Quick clarification up front because it trips people up constantly. This is the country in the southern Caucasus, not the US state. Different continent entirely. It's still fairly under the radar globally, but inside expat circles, it's built a real reputation. And once you look at the numbers, it's not hard to see why. One of the most retiree friendly visa and tax setups anywhere, low cost, solid private healthcare, and a level of hospitality that people genuinely talk about. Cost of living: Tbilisi, a couple lives comfortably on $1,200 to $1,800 a month. A modern apartment, restaurants several times a week, private health cover, travel within the country whenever you feel like. Batumi on the coast runs similar or slightly cheaper. For quality of life on offer, this is close to the best value in the region. Here's the standout feature: Georgia lets EU, UK, US, and a long list of other nationalities stay visa free for up to 365 days, a full calendar year. No application, no appointment, you land, you stay. If you want to stay indefinitely, there's a resident permit for financially independent persons. Proof of stable passive income, pension statements usually covers this, and a clean background. It's renewable and the income bar isn't high beyond showing you can support yourself. Tax wise, Georgia runs territorially. Foreign income isn't taxed for non residents under 183 days a year. Cross that threshold and you become a tax resident, and your foreign pension income may still be exempt under flat tax arrangement depending on the income source. Georgia has double taxation treaties with most EU countries. This is genuinely a favorable setup, not just a marketing line. Private healthcare, especially in Tbilisi, has developed into something solid. Good hospitals, internationally trained doctors, a fraction of European prices. A GP's visit, $15 to $30. Specialists, $30 to $60. Private insurance for retirees, $800 to $1,500 a year. The public system is limited enough that private cover from day one isn't optional, really. Watch out: Georgia isn't in the EU or Schengen. Retiring here doesn't add to your travel rights. You keep whatever your EU passport already gives you, nothing more. Watch out: the legal system is functional but still maturing. Property purchase is open to foreigners. but do it with a reputable local lawyer. Due diligence isn't optional here the way it might feel in a more established market. Vera and Wake are Tbilisi's established expat neighborhoods, modern buildings, walkable, caves everywhere, a growing English speaking crowd. Want the coast instead? Batumi is more resort style at a similar or lower cost. Country number 5, New Zealand. This is the aspirational one on the list, and I'll say that plainly rather than oversell it. Higher cost than the other four, a harder visa process, and it's about as far from Europe as you can physically get. But if what you actually want is first world, English speaking country with genuinely stunning natural surroundings, a stable democracy, and excellent healthcare, nothing else on the list matches it. New Zealand routinely ranks among the most livable countries anywhere. Low corruption, strong rule of law, a quality of life that holds up against the best parts of Europe at costs that undercut the UK, Germany, and Scandinavia. Cost of living outside Auckland, a couple retires comfortably on New Zealand dollars 3,000 to $4,500 a month, roughly 1,700 to 2,600 euros. Tauranga, Nelson, Wanganui offers particularly good value. Auckland itself runs closer to a mid-tier European capital. New Zealand offers the temporary retirement visitor visa for retirees aged 66 and up to live for up to 2 years. A minimum of New Zealand dollars 750,000 is required to invest in New Zealand. Outside these, other options include the business investor visa and the active investor plus visa for a shorter time frame before leading to residency. This is built for high net worth applicants, and it's worth being honest that most retirees reading this won't qualify. A more realistic permanent route, if you have adult children who are New Zealand citizens or residents, is the Parent Retirement Resident Visa. Show proof that you can invest New Zealand dollars 1 million in New Zealand for 4 years, plus proof of income and health insurance. That family connection matters enormously here. Without it, this route simply isn't available. For extended stays without residency, most EU nationals get a visitor visa allowing up to 9 months in any 18-month window. Genuinely worth considering if you're not ready to commit to the bigger financial thresholds yet. Healthcare in New Zealand. The public system, once you hold permanent residency, is excellent, comprehensive, high quality, without the cost burden of the US system or some private European alternatives. Private insurance is available on top of that and worth having for faster specialist access. Watch out, it's genuinely isolated. 24 to 28 hours of travel from most of Europe. If staying close to family matters to you, that's not a small detail, that's a decision point. Watch out, the investor visa threshold is substantial enough that most European retirees will end up needing the parent retirement route or an extended visitor visa arrangement instead. New Zealand immigration is selective and the process is thorough. Use a registered New Zealand immigration advisor. Don't try to navigate it solo. A pro tip, Bay of Plenty, particularly Turanga, is the most popular landing spot for international retirees. Good climate by New Zealand standards, solid healthcare infrastructure, cheaper than Auckland, and a large established expat community already there. Here's the table, all five side by side. It's worth pausing for this one. If cost is your whole decision, Georgia or Morocco. If you want permanent residency from day one with least friction, Panama. If you're chasing tax efficiency on a larger income, Georgia or Thailand's LTR route specifically. If an English speaking first world environment is non negotiable, New Zealand. If it's climate and culture depth close to home hereafter, Morocco. Five countries: Panama for permanent residency from day one and discounts that are actually written into law, Thailand for Southeast Asia living at a fraction of European costs. Get tax advice before you go, not after. Morocco for proximity, low cost, and a language you probably already half speak. Georgia for a full visa free year, a genuinely good tax setup, and costs that will surprise you even if you've done this kind of research before. New Zealand for the first world quality and scenery if distance and the investment bar doesn't rule it out for you. Tell us in the comments which of these five actually surprised you. And if you want a full breakdown on any one of them, say so. And that's genuinely what decides what we film next. If this was useful, a thumbs up takes 2 seconds and helps us reach more retirees and families like yourself who need to hear it. Until next time, spread your wings and fly.